Hi, this is Jenny Dale, your classical studies librarian, and today I want to talk to you about using the library catalog to find book and book chapter sources to support your coursework. We're going to start at library.uncg.edu, which is the library homepage. You can also Google UNCG Library to get there. And we're going to focus today in this red box. Mostly we're going to be spending our time in this catalog tab here, although we'll probably look briefly at the advanced search option. I'm going to start with the catalog tab because I really want to focus on books. The default is the All tab, which includes things like articles and article databases and its search results, but we really want to focus on books for the purposes of this video. So I'm going to start with kind of a general search here for women and ancient Rome. And one of the things that you can use the catalog to do is to help you get at the right terminology. So things in our library catalog are going to be classified using the Library of Congress classification system and the Library of Congress subject headings system, which means that once you can kind of crack the code, you can figure out where books are going to be located that are on the subject that you're interested in based on their call numbers, and also what specific terminology or subject headings are used to describe the kind of books that you're interested in using. So I got 508 results for my Women in Ancient Rome search. I'm going to just kind of browse through here, and you can get a sense of the types of sources that I'm getting. I am going to take a look at this one, number 6 in my search results. It's called Prostitution, Sexuality, and the Law in Ancient Rome. So when I click on the title there, it's going to take me to a page with more detailed information. And in this case, it just opens within the same window over on the right side. And this pretty much is the case with any library resource. If you click on a title, you're going to get more detailed information. So in this case, it defaults to showing us the access options. So this is an example of a book that it looks like we only have as an ebook, but we have through 3 different options. So at this point, if I wanted to take a look at it, I would click. I usually just start with the first one for the sake of ease. And I can click on this and let it load for a moment. If I wasn't logged into my library account or my UNCG account already, it would probably ask me to log in. But since I already am, it just put me right through. So now I can access this and I can look through chapter by chapter. If I scroll down a bit, I can also search within the book if there's a particular concept or even person that I'm looking for, I can search within here. So this is going to give me access. Let me just click on a chapter here as an example. To the chapter itself, it's going to give me a little abstract of the chapter. It gives me the option to just read through it here, but my preference is whenever possible to use the PDF option because it does make it quite a bit easier for citation purposes. So if you think you're going to be citing this, finding the PDF of the chapter you're using can be really helpful with that. Okay, so I'm going to close these two out and go back over here to this page, and this is called the catalog record. So we've seen the availability part of the catalog record, but what I want to look at next is the view description section. This is where you can actually find out more about what you can expect to see in this book. So we have a description here. We figure out how long it is. It's 416 pages. We see the names of the chapters, so we have kind of a table of contents here to give us a sense of what might be in this and what parts of it we might need. And then we have this subjects section down here. And this can be really helpful, again, when we are trying to figure out the official terminology that is being used to describe a topic or a book. So in this case, it looks like prostitution, parentheses, Roman law, would be one of the main subject headings that we might use. So if that was something that I wanted to continue on with my research, I could click this. This is a clickable link, and I can see what other things come up in our library that have that same sort of official subject heading. I'm going to head back to my search results though, and I am going to try to find an example of one that is available also as a print book. So let me take a look actually at this one. This is an example that I wanted to talk about. Women in Ancient Rome, a source book. So we do have ebook options, and we also have unfortunately it's checked out and it looks like it's overdue, but we do have call number access to this book. And I'll show you in a moment how that can be helpful. But I want to scroll back up here a little bit and I want to show you the view description in this case. A lot of times when you see something that has this subtitle, a source book or sources or something along those lines, it actually tends to be something that includes primary sources. So it might have some contextual information, but often it's going to include scans or images of primary sources. So if I scroll through here, I can see a bit about what's included. So this looks like it could be an interesting place to find primary sources within the context of a book. And I want to point out here again in the subjects area, this one here, Women, Rome, Social Conditions, Sources. And so keep that in mind because I want to show you something in just a moment where we use the advanced catalog search to help us find something kind of similar to this. To test things out a little bit, I am going to go ahead and just open up the ebook version to see if I'm getting this right, if this really is something that has some primary sources included within the book. And while that's loading, I'm also going to show you back here on this page something that is really handy, the Browse the Shelf feature. Now we pretty much only have this for books where we do own a print copy, but if we click this Browse the Shelf, this is going to kind of try to imitate what it would be like if I were in Jackson Library looking around in this call number area, HQ 1136. So books that would be on either side of my particular selection here to give me a sense of what I could find in that area. Now, if you're able to physically go to the library and do some browsing on your own, that's awesome. But this just gives you a sense of what you might find there. And again, all of these things are clickable. So if I want to click on the title here, Arguments with Silence, Writing the History of Roman Women, I now have access to that. And it looks like even though the print is checked out, I could still find an ebook version. So that's another way that you might be able to locate similar sources using our library catalog. But I'm going to jump back over here because this looks like it has loaded. So this is my Women in Ancient Rome, a source book. And I'm going to try to take a look at, let's look at women in religious life as an example. And I'm going to do what I did before here, which is to just kind of scroll through and see. And what you might notice here is that quite a bit of what we are finding in here are actually quotations from primary sources. So I'm going to click the download PDF option here, just like I recommended before, so that we can take a look at it. But yeah, we have quite a few, like a lot of what we're seeing in this chapter is actually just sort of collections of primary source material, primary texts in this case. But we do typically have some contextual information. So you'll come across these kind of sources and they're an interesting mix of some secondary information mixed in with primary source information. So just to be aware of that. But if you're actually looking for these kinds of books that are collections of primary sources, that's when I try to make use of the advanced search option in the library catalog. So we have, it's kept my search, Women in Ancient Rome, and I'm going to add another line here, and I'm going to change that to subject, and I'm going to add in the word sources, which we saw before in our description part for that Women in Ancient Rome. So now we are getting 63 results. We see our first one up there, so we know that that was included. But if we start looking through here, I see Daily Life in Ancient Rome, a source book, Women in the Classical World, image and text. So these give you some nice options if you are trying to find some kind of collections of primary source materials in addition to, using the catalog more typically to search for secondary sources. If you have any questions about using the library catalog, please feel free to contact me. My email address is jedale2. And I am going to recommend that if you find a book that you like within the catalog, even if it's just a chapter within a book, that you either email it to yourself from the catalog record page, grab the link, or if it is a full text ebook, you can usually grab yourself a link from the ebook page itself. So in this case, I can either share or I can actually copy this as a DOI, a unique identifier for this book. Again, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm here to help as you are finding the kind of sources you need for your class. Thanks for watching.